All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk with our show. And on this edition, we're having someone special. Yeah, someone special. Whatever is special. She's very special to me. She's very dear to me. And her name is ABISOLA ADENIJI. ABISOLA ADENIJI. Just type it on Google, ABISOLA ADENIJI, to bring out some very beautiful things. ABISOLA ADENIJI is one of the talented, not just talented. She's young, she's smart, she's talented. And when I mean talent, like in different areas. And she's even exploring more areas. She's into, what's that thing she said she's learning to do now? Maybe online kind of videography and all of those things and all. So see, just take your book, your pen, because you're really going to learn a lot. She's into finance. She writes. She does everything. Bisola, do you cook too? What else can we learn from you? Bisola is all in all. She's the real wife material when it comes to career, spirituality, finance, ministry, and all. Please welcome on the show ABISOLA ADENIJI. She's going to be walking us through how to maximize your potential for the next few minutes, and I'm very sure you're going to learn from her because ABISOLA is loaded. Thank you, ABISOLA, for accepting our invitation, and we hope to learn a lot from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for having me on this session. It's a privilege, actually, to be here and be able to say one or two things that would most likely impact people's life. Yeah. And first of all, I just want to say welcome. And don't mind that I don't want to say she's exaggerating because so that it's not like I'm gonna remove my blessings. But it is it's a privilege to be here. And as she said, my name is ABISOLA ADENIJI. I work with a merchant bank as a banking analyst. Rather, sorry, I've forgotten that. A senior banking analyst, actually.
ABISOLA is loaded.
Don't mind that. I currently run an organization. I most likely love calling it a community, right? Because it's a community of different people, of young professionals, where we just encourage people. We share information. Our main mantra is to learn, discover, and grow. So we are technically focused on personal growth, career growth, and financial growth, those three core areas. And by the side, as she said, I love writing. So I write a lot on my Medium page. I write I can say like I write for Sisterly, like it's a digital publication for females. Then on one or two other places on my LinkedIn, I also write, right? Then by the side, I love doing anything. Anywhere you just see that I can get value. I love it. You get. So basically, that's like a brief introduction about me. Yeah. Do you want me to?
Yeah, that's fantastic. So at least we already know that there's a group that we are all going to join after this session, because I heard you say something that there's this community you have where you help people learn one or two things about career. So please, my people, just they gather around here because we are going to be part of that community, because in this year 2020 we are team value adding and we just want a better life, better everything. We cannot settle for less. That's just it. All right, thank you so much, Sarah, for that introduction. So you have the floor. You're going to walk us through how to maximize our potential. It's still part of the community. So when the Spirit gave us your name, the Spirit was actually in tune, because we know that is the person that we are picking is the right person, and that person that's going to give value to us. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you. So as she said, today's topic is how to maximize your potential. I was thinking of, should I go the route of listing and listing? You know what? I'll just go as the Spirit leads. And yes, I hope that it's as actionable as possible, so that there is something that you can do immediately after watching this. So one of the first thing I would say that to maximize your potential is first of all understanding who you are. Because I'm looking at it, how will you say you want to maximize something that you don't even understand in the first place? You know, you need to understand your kind of person. First of all, like, you know, try to know what works for you and what doesn't work for you. As time goes on in my career journey, right? When I started school, immediately after school, I was that person that would most likely stay at the back of. You won't see me at the front. You will most likely see me at the back. But that wasn't who I was, right? It was just circumstances that was putting me in that position I was just shying away from everything. I was not ready to face it. So it's not that kind of know yourself that I'm talking about. I'm talking about understanding your values, one, understanding things that would normally work for you in certain circumstances. So I'll give more context to it. For example, right, if you say Abisola should come and talk about, let's say, relationship, I most likely would just say, like, have you ever seen me put my position out there and say that, oh, okay, my branding is for relationship? That's not what, it's not like I cannot talk about it. If you put me and say, okay, you have to do it, you know, let's say it's for church or something like that, I most likely would want to do it or go ahead to do, but that's not my per se, my brand, you know, something that you can wake me up from my sleep and say, Bisola, you know or do this thing. So when I'm saying know what works for you, know your value, know your value system, like a built-in value system that you have. Then also understand, when I'm not talking about understanding who you are, you know, or what works for you. For example, you can be that kind of person that let's say reading for you is in the morning. Let me just use basic examples. Reading for you is in the morning, or preparing for something is like you don't have to go through all the books. You just need to put points, or you know, or when you are going for a presentation, for you it is just for you to just go ahead and just most likely just put bullet points. While some other people, they have to prepare in depth to be able to stand in front of people. So you just need to understand your kind of person. You know, are you the kind of person that you can do monotonous job continuously, or you are the kind of person that you're strategic in nature, and you love things that tickle your stresses your brain, because that's in my stress brain in you. Or are you the kind of person that would say that you love being in front of the camera, you love working at the front end, not at the back end, you know? So you need to just understand your kind of person. So before you now say that, oh yes, I want to now maximize my potential. You know, yeah, do you get? So now, so now taking the word potential can be in various forms. It can be your skills, it can be your position, it can even just you being as a brand, you know. It is in various forms. So now going ahead to say that I want to be able to maximize my potential, the number one thing that you have to do is to gain exposure. Exposure comes in different forms. Trust me, the word can sound so, you know, it can sound so word that you've been hearing, you know, continuous word that you have been hearing so far and so well. But exposure comes in different form. It can just be you gaining, it can just be you engaging in activities in your church, you know.
Yeah.
It can just be
sorry, Bisola is a church girl, so let me just put that. She's a church girl.
Don't mind her, but yeah, I'm a church girl, proud of it. I don't have to hide myself.
We're proud Islanders.
So, exactly. So yeah, it can be something as very little as that. Let me just give more context to that. In my church, right, there are different ways that you can, you know, serve. You can serve in the social media team. You can serve in the you can serve in different from children, normal departments that but there are also other specific departments like digital, content creation, all those specific kind of departments. And you are telling me that it's looking like I'm getting interest in content creation. That is another way for you to break into that space through your space. Do you understand what I'm saying? Then there are other things apart from in your church. It can move to your community. You can join volunteering. Volunteering is while I was trying to discover myself, honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. If you ask me today, right, of course, I know my short-term goal. I'm working towards them, but I also know a bit of what I want to do in the future. But it took a lot for me to get to this particular stage, because at some point in my career, I didn't know what I was doing. But what really helped me was the fact that I was volunteering a lot, and exposed me to things that I knew that I wanted and did not want. Because in fact, to even say that this is what I want to be known for, or this is what works for me, you need to get that exposure first of all. While I was volunteering for this organization, one of the first key organizations, is a known organization, right? At least they built that brand over the years. And while I was volunteering, I ensured that I put my all to it. I've had one principle in life so far, that if whatever I'm in, right, I want to give my all. I like the word ownership in whatever I'm involved in. So you will know that at least I am here. It's not like I'm here and it's not like I'm there. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like I just want to do my bit and do it well. And it's not for you to miss me or say that Bisola was not here or when Bisola was here. It's just it's my own principle in life. Like I just want to, whatever I am doing, I want to be able to do it. So that was the principle that took me. I had my principle. It took me to the organization. I did it so well. And as time would have it, right, I became a leader in that organization. And Ruth, I see you. Ruth.
Sorry, network interruption. Sorry about that. Please, you can continue.
Okay, no problem. So I was saying that I just knew that I wanted to be, I think it's the network, but anyhow, I'll just continue so that there is not too much lag. So there was just like this exposure, like I just knew as time would have it, rather, that's why I stopped. As time would have it, I became a leader in that organization. And when I became a leader, I knew that from there, I was able to pick one or two things that, okay, these are the things that I really don't like. These are the things that I really liked. These are the things that I will see myself pursuing. And with time, God gave me the vision of TOC. That's how I built their community, which is the community that Rose was talking about at the beginning, right? So, and that's how I got to build that community. Do you get? Ruth, do you want me to go over it again? Or I should just
okay, sorry.
Do you want me to go over it or just start?
Please, can you just no, you can just continue.
Oh, okay. So that's fine then. So that's how I just got the vision for their community, and that's how their community has grown to what it is today. And the thing that is very another thing that is very, very critical when you are trying to maximize your potential and when you are trying to gain that necessary exposure that will allow you to maximize your potential is the fact that don't have that mentality of saying that, okay, don't be that person that would say that you want to you don't want to deliver at what you are doing at that right. You know what? No, don't do that to yourself. Wherever you find yourself, at least that particular point that God has kept you in, ensure that you give your best, And never ever just say that, oh, okay, I have interest in this, and you just make it die down because of maybe say that you don't want to engage in other activities. No, no, and no. One of the key ways to build your potential is just trying to let go and actually making your hands busy. What I'm saying is that, for example, you are currently in the finance field, right? And this potential thing is very, very funny. You can be in finance field and be interested in thousands of other things out there. For example, somebody like me, it's somebody like me, I have learned different things that are so unrelated to my career paths, like very, very unrelated, but I found them useful. I really found them useful. So, for example, I am in the finance field, right? I'm interested in finance. Then I see myself learning how to build a website. Sorry, how does that relate? Is that not tech, right? But I just love it. I love things like that. I went to a school, I got a certificate for it. So if you tell me, Bisola, sit down and actually try to build a website from the scratch, I can do it from the scratch. And I don't mean websites using.
Well, you see why I said Bisola is someone you can learn a lot from.
So never ever restrict your brain. No, don't do that to yourself. Like, if you have the time, if you think that you are able to do this, right, I think you should go for it. However, there's a disclaimer. Ensure that you have settled your career growth first. Not like the one that you are lacking in your finance space. And you saw opportunity to learn Excel, opportunity to learn financial modeling, opportunity to learn different things relating to your career, and you're letting it go. Ensure that there is a balance. Don't say because of your passion, you're letting go your passion for whatever you are doing, because you are still interested in it. It's just that when you wait, of course, finance has nothing. What exactly am I doing in tech? It's not like I want to go into it full time. Do you get my point? It's just something that I just do by the side. Number two things that I would say, the first thing I said is gain exposure. Gain exposure through, the first thing I said was know yourself, and how to know yourself is actually gaining exposure. Gaining exposure through volunteering activities. Just put yourself out there, put yourself out there. Ensure that whatever would give you that necessary exposure, that it's within people, do it. Because from people, you will learn a lot, trust me. You would really, really learn a lot. We have this thing in my group, or my church, that you do, I like telling stories, don't mind me. We have these
stories are good, actually. They are very relatable. There are things that people can actually easily on.
Exactly. So there's this thing in my church that we do. It's called, we have different semi-groups, and it's like a prayer group, and we have different activities. And in my group, we had one recent drama that really just happened. And of course, I was active. I already told you that whenever I find myself, I try to keep my all to it. And one thing critical, I learned something in a very funny way. I learned how to be a leader again. It's weird. Of course, you say that I've been exposed, I've held different leadership positions, because I have led leadership position, but I also understood what it means to bring people together, to work with people, and actually how to bring people together. So it brings me to my number two, the second thing that I will be buttressing upon is, don't say no to learning. Let learning be I love learning a lot, and that's what I've learned. So I learned from the most weirdest thing, from the most unrelatable things, and I also learned from things that are very, very structural. You can see all these, like recently there's this ALX training that is going up and down. I registered for it. Of course, I had to do it because other thing came upon it. Like, I just learned it because I was telling myself that, do you get, like, I learned it because I just felt like, I wanted to brush I just want to learn one or two things. I looked at the curriculum and like, okay, this part might be weak a bit. So of course, I'm familiar with about 70% of what is there. But just because of 30% that I felt was missing, I took it upon myself to do it. Somebody will say it's just for young professional. I might know a young professional. Let me say, how many years of experience? Even people that are already up there, they still learn every day.
Bisola is young, but she's loaded. Don't mind us.
Don't mind. But it's the truth. I also took up another opportunity to learn. I did this McKinsey Forward program. Honestly, if you see it, the people that you mostly see there are young like people that are undergraduates or very recent graduates with like 1 year experience. But I took it, and to God be the glory. For me taking that opportunity, I was able to meet one of my very good friends that is going to soon be my partner, right? And she's from South Africa. We were able to work together on a project.
Yeah.
It was very great. Roots, don't they whine me? But it's just so I'm just reiterating the points that never say no to learning. Any opportunity that you see you can never stop learning in this life. You cannot say that you've gotten to your peak of your career and it is, I don't need to learn again. It's a lie. You are doing yourself more harm than good. Do you get my point? So in fact, through learning, you maximize your potential. You meet people. You speak like you expose yourself to another dimension that you didn't even know existed. And that's another thing volunteering will do. It will expose you to people. You will know the kind of people that you want to work with in this life. And you know people that you don't want to work with in this life. Volunteering will expose you. So that's what those things would do. Volunteering through getting exposure and also never saying no to learning. Then another thing that I think that I also feel like we should touch on for maximizing your potential is for you to speak to people. See, you can
Very
never know it all. You can't say that you know it all in this life and not talk to people that has gone ahead of you. When you think about I'm not very sound in Yoruba, but I'll say this, right? Maybe you want to help me with the adage if I missed it. But I'll just get it like that. When you think about yeah, I got it right. And that means that like you can never have too much. You like no matter the knowledge you say you have, you cannot have more experience than an elder person or somebody that's gone ahead of you. Assume like this, it seems like I figured out life, but I never figure anything. Like I still speak to people. I speak to people that have gone ahead of me. I have a friend that I reach out to. Like I most likely don't have specifically a mentor. Like I say that this is my mentor in all field, but I have people that I speak to in different areas for different area. Like when I need clarity for, let's say, my career, I call my friend, and it's somebody that has had experience in this thing. He has gone ahead. Like he's even one of the first people that helped me and reset my brain, that gave me direction in life when I was very young. Like when I was still trying to figure out what to do or what not to do, right? It was just always there giving me that valid advice. And it worked out well for me. It has been working and it will continue to work. It cannot just, but also know the kind of people that you speak to. People that are in line with your value system. That's why you need to know yourself. You need to understand yourself because people will bring different things. You need to be able to say, no, this does not work for me. This works for me. Even when you are speaking with people, it's not all advice that would work for you. No. You need to be able to filter that information and say that, for example, when I put information out there, I'm like, see, this is my own experience. But ensure that you are filtering out information that works for you because there are thousands of information out there. You need to be able to, if you don't know yourself, you will just do and it will not work. Do you get? It's not all, it's either it will work, but it will take you years, something that you should have taken you, assuming you've been able to hit the nail and say, oh, this is what works for me, and you just move like that. Do you get my point? So you need to be able to speak to people that matters, people that have gone ahead of you, people that can give you valuable information. So when you say, I'm not saying that there is two things. I didn't say mentorship, right? I said you need to be able to speak to people, because getting a mentor is a whole lot. You need to first, is even more strenuous than getting somebody to speak with.
Very correct.
So
I think we share a number of things in common. Like, I also don't have that mentor figure, but there are a number of people that when it comes to this, I have someone to talk to on this. And sometimes for me, it works for me, direction.
No, see, forget it works actually. Unless you're not doing it the right way. It actually does work, and I think I'm just going to stop here for today. That those three things, I hope that you are able to do it. First of all, gain exposure, get volunteer. I still volunteer. I volunteer for, yes, I'm running TOC, but there are other things that when I see, I'm like, I'm interested in this, I volunteer for it. I always try as much as possible to keep taxing my brain so that I don't get too lazy. This is the time that you can do all the taxing that you want to tax your brain for. Do you understand? So ensure that you get all the necessary exposure, experience that you need outside your work experience. Your work experience is just like how many pages of your resume? But let's be sincere. Let's say I've worked in an organization for 2 years. For that 2 years, are you telling me that the only thing that'll be on my resume is just that 2 years experience? No, you can do different things. Engage in competition. Recently, I engaged in one competition with my friend from South Africa. And from there, we did not win, no, but we were able to pick out another lesson from it, and we are building upon it. Do you get my point? But if we never, and that's another challenging situation, another challenging move that we are going into. It's not, so are you telling me I'm not maximizing my potential? Are you telling me that I'm not pushing myself beyond the limit? Are you telling me that it's still the Bisola that you've known 2 or 3 years ago that you are knowing now? No. But if I had not volunteered for different organizations, for that organization that I volunteered for that exposed me, I won't be here today. I've spoken with people. I'm like, I want to make this move. What do you think about it? Okay, I'm like, I listen to you. I see it. I go back to my own quiet time and say that, okay, this will work, this will not work. And I just want to end this saying this note that you can't run out of ideas. I had that fear at some point in my life that I'll run out of ideas, but you can't. See, you have God, right? You can't run out of ideas. Things will come. The idea that you think that is the top-notch thing, is nothing after you think about it in the next 2 years or 1 year. It's nothing. It just feels like it has fizzled out. Do you get? And finally, I'll just say that I've got this journey of life is not easy, let's be sincere. It's not, no matter how we want to sugarcoat it, it's not, right? And you need somebody to work hand in hand with you. Some people are very opportune to have good friends, some people are opportune to have partners to work with them with it. But when you don't have those kind of people in your life, you need God. In fact, even when you have them, because they can lead you astray, right? So you still need God. Do you get? So you need to have God and keep on. I feel like every time, every moment in my career, let's say I tried to as much as possible lean onto my own understanding. God just shocks me and just give me like a bullet, boom, and be like, Bisola, I told you, don't lean onto people. Don't lean onto your own understanding or whatever just people give you. I'm going to, even if you want to learn to, if you want to speak with people, I'll bring people. I'll be the one to bring those people to you that you will speak to, that will give you that clarity that you really need. Do you get? So that's why, honestly, you need God. I don't even know how to say it again. You just need God to accompany you, to give you clarity, to speak to you, and to ensure that you are doing in every move, in every volunteering, like let's say you want to take up a new challenge, you want to volunteer for different organization, those things, or you want to apply for, let's say, like a fellowship program. When I say volunteering experience, there are different ways. I think before I wrap up, I know it's in different ways. It's not just volunteer like volunteer. When I say gain experience, it's not just trainings. There are fellowship programs, there are scholarship awards, all those things, they feed into it. They feed into how to gain exposure. Do you get? you can gain it through scholarship, fellowship, give me anything, then all the normal standard ones that you think that you know. So
Bisola has nailed it. We should write a book and say Bisola Adinji. Thank you so much. From knowing yourself to being exposed to not saying no to learning, to putting God in the whole equation. I mean, I've learned a lot of lessons from this brief session, because we know we're still going to bring Bisola back, but for these few minutes, she has actually given us a lot. And I just want to ask you, Bisola, thank you so much. That session was actually an insightful one. I just want to ask you, I know you work like a senior banking analyst. Bisola is very committed when it comes to church matters. Like, I say I want to go to church, I want to go to learn forever and ever. So how do you, with all your work schedule, still manage to learn? How do you do? Is it like you have a timetable, something you follow? How do you stay committed to learning? Because sometimes, after work, people are tired, they get home, they are very stressed, and then weekend, maybe we have 1 or 2 meetings in church. How do you stay committed to learning? So that's my first question. I don't know if you can just answer that.
It's actually a deep one, and I won't even say that I've gotten a total hang of it, but glory be to God, it has been able to get me this far at least, right? So, when it comes to church matter, right? To me, like for me, it's a no. How will I explain it? There is no.
It's non-negotiable.
Exactly, it's a non-negotiable stuff for me. So as much as I already know my non-negotiable for church matter, it's really non-negotiable for me. When I see that I'm slacking, I feel bad, right? So I just go back to push, and so now with that mindset in mind, I already have my non-negotiable. And now if I say that I have a negotiable, I'll say it's a lie, because to me, learning is a non-negotiable too. So imagine having 2 different non-negotiable. And of course, something that pays me my salary is also a non-negotiable to me. So my career, if you talk to my friends, my career is really, really a non-negotiable too. So everything that I am doing right now, learning, career, and God, non-negotiable. But if you want to rank it, of course, the things of the Lord comes first, like absolutely first. Do you get? So I'll say what has helped me so far is the fact that I have that understanding, first of all. And I always tell myself, reason why things doesn't baffle me, or when things happen, or when challenges happen, I always pick myself right immediately, is because I'm like, Bisola, if you don't do it, right? First of all, if you don't do things of God, someone else will do it. God will find somebody to do it. You are irreplaceable. It's not like you are not replaceable, right? But God value, just as you value his relationship with your relationship with him, he also values that relationship with you. So when I just think about that, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to squeeze myself to do it. So what I'm focusing on, the first thing is your mindset. It's very, very key. Your mindset needs to reset. Then the second thing is that now if you look at my learning, I always tell myself that I want to be that kind of person. Well, it's just, I have a very strong value system, first of all. You might not be like me, you get. So I already have a very strong value. So I always tell myself that, Bisola, you want to be the best in wherever or whatever you are. No, I don't use best. I use the word that I want to know what I'm doing. So in my career, I don't just want to, I have been in position, I have seen people that have gotten to level of management and they nobody don't know their work. So I always see it. So I tell you that I learn in strange. That's one thing I learned. And it has stuck to my brain that, see, I want to get to that management position and know my onions. I always want to. know my onions. So when learning comes and it's very tiring, stressful, I'm like, Sola, you want to know your onions. It's like the word has stuck inside me, that I just want to know what I'm doing. I don't like it when I'm doing something and I'm not sound in what I'm doing. I hate it. I dislike it. So it pushes me to go beyond in learning. That's for mindset. Then I have now let's go to the structural one that, of course, people want to know is every month, every day, I try to create a daily planner that works for me. Sometimes I miss it, but in my brain, but anytime I use my brain to create it, it never works as much as when I write it down, because I love writing and noting things down. So I already have every year I have a goal that I'm working towards. Of course, as time goes on, more clarity comes. I tweak it a bit, and at the beginning of the month, one thing that I have done so far in this year is to tweak the goal from that my yearly goal to make it a monthly goal. So sometimes when I'm just trying to look at how far I've gone, at the end of the month, I just try to go back and see, okay, was I able to achieve? What did I do wrong? What did I not do wrong? And sometimes I actually write it and put it out there for people, just in case you want to learn, you get how mistakes I made that I shouldn't have made in the month, or what I think that I should have done better, and I learn from that mistake and I put it into plan in my next month. So if I'm making a mistake, let's say I see that, okay, my timetable is too rigid for me. If I'm making that mistake, I already sense it from the first month. So I'm not waiting to the end of the year to sense that kind of mistake. Do you understand? Then at the beginning of every day, I try to group my planning. Okay. Church activities. Already from Sunday, you already know what you will do for church for the week. Do you get? So you already know that, is it posting? Is it children activities? Do you need to speak to, especially when you're in different departments, you already have an idea of what you have to do for each day. And there's something that I saw somebody stated, and I'm saying that it's true. Things that will take you less than a minute or 2 minutes to do it immediately. Just don't procrastinate. Just do it immediately. Don't think that, okay, when I settle down, I sit down, I'm relaxed. Don't do that. Immediately it's something that, it needs you to just reach out to this person, speak to this person, do it immediately. And funny enough, this principle is something that I have taken to my WhatsApp message. Normally, young people, they don't know how to respond to messages. Actually, it's not,
we are plenty, unread messages.
It's true. But I hate it. Now, the problem with me now is I hate unread message. Do you get? So I always give myself 3 days. I always give myself that. So I'm like, okay, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll give myself that. But I always ensure to respond to that, unless the message does not need responding. Do you get? So some days that I feel like, this is just 48 messages. I just see that maybe when I'm going on inside traffic, respond to everybody, clear the chat, and I'm good to go. I'm done. And that's just it. It's same thing with responding, especially, for example, let's say I have a viral post on LinkedIn now, and I have over 100 comments. I'll respond to all the comments. It's not for me to just sit down. I will respond because I feel like that's how I'm building my brand. Do you get? And that's just me. That's what works for me. I just need to give myself a timeline that works. And I've already scheduled it even if I did not write it down, I'm like, today, I'm responding to all the messages of people. Going back to it, so on my daily plan, I've already scheduled, because I already know what works, what church-related activities that I need to do. I will just put it in a day and be like, on this day, I'm doing this. Trust me, if I never put it in a day, I most likely will not do that task, unless maybe the senior pastor or seniors, like a pastor reaches out to me or something. You get? So I already try to put it there. So that's how I just deliver on my tasks. And if I see that the task can be done on Sunday, I just do it and forget church for the week. And I know that what I'm doing is it's very minute doing that. I've cleared church out of the way. Then my learning, what I do is that, for example, if I'm taking a course, and this is for everyone taking a course, because everybody's guilty of this. If you are taking a course and the course does not have a timeline, put a timeline to it yourself. No, they do that. I will do it later. Forget. Put a timeline to it and schedule a number of hours every day for that course. It helps. You can even give yourself a break. Say that, okay, 1 hour, right? And for like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If that works for you, fine. As far as it meets your total plan and say that by this day, I must finish this course. So some days will be like this. You do more. Some days you do less. When you add everything together for that week, ensure that you meet your quota for that day or for that week. Do you get? Ensure that you break your task into something that is not looking bang bang in your eyes. So that's why I love daily tasks, right? Like my plan today. Yesterday, my plan was just to sleep and I loved it. And today, my first plan was to clear all my chats. That's why you got a message from me this morning and said that noted. Yeah. Do you get? I've done that one. My second plan is to just clear my room, do some things, do some minute things, and maybe finally carry my laptop if I'm able to and watch movies. It's fine. Not like I don't have things to do, but this is my resting period and I'm intentional about my rest. I cannot kill myself. Do you get? Then maybe tomorrow I'll have a very, very stressful day, right? Because of course I'm on leave for this period. That's why I'm saying it. So, and I can now say that all the things that I want to achieve, I'm breaking to it. And something I have noticed is that if you don't plan your months, it will go anyhow. That's why I say months is rushing. Like now, I've not planned for July. And I can see how July is going by so fast in front of me. And I have something important that I want to deliver in July. So if you don't really plan, take intentional steps towards some things, you are not going to deliver on it. It's just mindset. You need to be able to say that I want to do this. I need to do this. I have to do this. And be accountable to yourself. Forget, I am a person of accountability to other people. Be accountable to yourself first. Don't be saying that I need an accountability partner. It's sweet, it's nice, but the person you need that you want to be your partner, if other person needs accountability, if you don't know, you need to be accountable to yourself. You need to say that this is what I said I would do. This is what I did not do. ABISOLA, do better. Me, I can score. I'm very hard on myself, right? I'm just trying to be lenient, and it has worked for me. And so I hope that this helps. Now, I know I talk a lot. If you give me
no. See, I really, really enjoyed this. Like, I really, really enjoyed the session. I really enjoyed it. And I can actually relate to most of the things that you were saying, because I'm also I am very, very, if you notice, I don't know if I'm someone that is very, if I don't plan anything, I will not achieve anything. But you see, if I just have a plan of maybe 10 things I want to do today, within 2 hours, I can finish that 10 thing. And I'll be like, hey.
Let me tell you something weird. I reward myself.
Wow, that's good.
I reward myself. I can say that, so I'm going to finish all this thing. At my workplace, that's how I do. Especially if you work in a place that you don't like what you are doing, this is a very sweet tip for you.
Hey, are we playing on this table?
If you are doing what you don't do, just give yourself, okay, you have to finish this. When you plan yourself, reward yourself. Sometimes I'll just buy food that I know that is not within my budget. It's not within my budget for the month. I will buy it. I will drink ice cream. I will even order ice cream and buy drink. I will now, or let's say that I've been saying that, buying this because I love chocolate a lot. And I'm like, okay, I've not bought it in a while. But ABISOLA, if you finish this thing, we're going to remove from that money and we're going to buy it. And I reward myself. I can even do so well in the year. When let's say that in this month, I did very well and I'm proud of myself. I take myself out. I go to a restaurant, sit down, eat, drink, take a those kind of things encourage me.
I think I've not been doing this reward system, and I think I need to really, really start doing it, because sometimes you are now all like you're working. There's no time
Yeah.
to chill out and all. Right? I need to
So,
copy you. I need
well,
to
yeah,
copy.
that's it, Sha. That's
Yeah,
it.
it's actually, and you said something that really, really, really made sense to me about, resting too. I realized that in Nigeria, we all work, and sometimes we are not intentional about rest.
Yes.
And sometimes it just makes you now experience burnout, because you just keep working around. I feel like rest is also part of productivity. Sometimes when you
Yeah.
when you rest, your brain is able to also rest. And then once you get back to work, you're able to understand better, you're able to deliver well enough. So that's one major point that I also actually got from what you said. Because of our time and all, I know you're a very busy person and we don't want to overshoot our so let me just ask this final question about fear. Now, I see a lot of people who actually have great ideas. Personally, me, I've been saying it, but now maybe I'll just do the work and not say too much. There are a lot of people out there who are actually doing what they really don't like maybe a 9 to 5. Nigeria situation will never allow you just say you want to leave your job and begin to do what your passion.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
there are a lot of people. What do you say?
No, I say I'm listening to you now. Like I'm
All
get.
right. Yeah, so there are a lot of people who are out there but are scared to actually like jump into what their passion actually what they're passionate about certain things, and obviously because they have to put food on their table, they have to do this, they are not able to there are a lot of people who cannot be who they want to be because they are scared of acceptance, they are scared that they are not good enough, they are scared that maybe they will not be able to deliver up to the expectation of men. So I want you to just advise people who have ideas, who are very creative, but they're waiting for validation. Like they want people to say, oh, you have done well, before they can actually begin to, take that baby step to actually get to that height. Because I know you mentioned something about you not being able to figure out everything at some point, but later on you had someone who was actually guiding you through the process. So there are many people out there who have great ideas. Like I hear some people say some things and I'm like, why can't you just start up? Like, why can't you just do this thing? But they're like, what if? So all those what if things, like how can you really advise people in that category?
Okay, so there are two things in this question. There are people that are working their 9 to 5, right? They want to do what they want to do. They want to go ahead with their passion. And there are people that they are scared, they have ideas, whether you're working 9 to 5, you're not working on 9 to 5, you just want to pursue your pattern, but fear no go make you rest, right? So for the first set of people, right, I am in that table, honestly. If you tell me,
we are plenty.
I'm serious. It's nothing to shy about. At this rate, it's nothing to be shy about. I'm totally not doing what I want to do. And
so can I say something? Sorry.
Okay.
You know that guilt that now comes to you when people now say, why did you now do what I can? Why did you now go through the stress of doing all this? Why did you now do this? When you know that this is not really what you wanted to do, why did you just start up? You'll not be like, hey God, how far gone now?
I don't listen to that. It has got, maybe I've gotten to that stage, right? That some things that people like, you need to know yourself, honestly. I'm not saying that I totally know myself. I rediscover myself practically every day. And sometimes with what I know about myself, I make mistake knowing myself. Do you get? Because I know this is what works for me. So I now make unnecessary mistakes with that. So sometimes I have to unlearn some things to be able to move forward and move past that phase. Do you get? But I've gotten to that stage whereby you're like, should have done it. Yeah. Right now, me too, I don't understand why I did that. I can't. But I understood that it's a phase. You can't tell. So what do you expect me to have been doing then? I don't understand. I don't know what to do. But it's something I can keep my hands busy that is making me learn something. At some point, that your icon will be useful. Guy,
And do you even know that the connection that you must have, you have gotten as a result of the friendship alone, for me is an asset. The church alone is the greatest. So I'm hello.
It's a phase. So you need to understand that your life is in phases. I attended this Bukwawashika's event, and she said something that really struck me. Your life is being written every day, but your story is being told once. So you're telling me that, so I am writing my life every day. So at that moment, that was the phase of my life. So it's not like I knew that. In fact, if they tell you in school that Abisola will be in front of camera, it's a lie. Like, we had one get together one time, like, Abisola, how did you even move from being that shy, nerdy? I'm still a nerd, honestly. I'm 100% nerd, always sign my book. But like, how did you just move from that phase, always being at the back, coming out of your shell and everything? That was a phase of my life, and it took a lot for me to come out of that phase. So you need to understand, you yourself, you need to understand that my life is in phases. So what you are seeing now is Abisola phase something. The next Abisola you will see might not be, is Abisola phase next. Do you get? Because we'll never move backward in Jesus' name. Do you get? Do you understand? So it's a, you need to own it, own your journey. So when you own your journey, sometimes some things that people are saying, I feel like it won't, even when you make mistakes and you fail along the line, you still understand that it's a journey. So you learn from your mistake and you push forward. Right? Are you saying that I've not made mistakes in life? Nah, lie. I've made thousands of mistakes in all aspects of life, right? It's just what has happened. But if I make that same mistake that I have made, that's when something is wrong with me. Even when something is wrong with me, I still have to learn from that thing and still move forward.
Yes.
It's the truth, man. I cannot. So that's just that for those people that
I feel like we concentrate too much on what people think about us, what people would say, than our own happiness.
You now put it by the side. At some point, I'm such a people person, but I'm not a people person, if it makes sense. I'm an extrovert. You see me making connection, meeting people, networking with people. But at the same time, I am so in myself. Like, I like enjoying my company. You will hear me say that I want to go to the cinema alone. It's weird. I just want to do it for myself. Like, I already envision how I would love it. I might go and cry, finish in the cinema, and just come out, but I will enjoy myself. I don't know if it makes sense, but you need to.
I think we have a lot of things in common, Bisola. I used to say I'm an introverted extrovert. When you see me doing something, you'll be like, is this truth? And you see me sometimes, you'll be like, you're just quiet, you're just looking, so is something wrong with you? I'm like, this is just me.
So it's just you just need to know yourself, know what situation works for you. I've already understood me to a certain extent that I know that if anything happens today, the next day, I'm not totally fine, right? But I've picked one day I lost an opportunity, a very serious international or multinational opportunity that I've been looking up to. I lost it. The next day when I go to work, I told my colleague that this is my next step. I already have a plan for how I'll go about it. They were like, Bisola. I'm like, yes, do you want me to kill myself? Like, I've lost it. I already understand that that's how so when you say that, Bisola, you're expecting Bisola to come and mourn, it's not me. But some people need to be able to cry, be sad about it, mourn it. Sometimes I'm that kind of person too, but also, even when I know that I move fast quickly, I also understand my mental space that, I need to be able to mourn some things and know that, yes, I actually lost something important. But after mourning it, I cannot stay in the mourning place for too long. I just need to move. Do you get? And which is something that I feel like everybody should take into consideration, because time is waiting for no one, technically nobody. Then moving, so I want to be able to answer that question. I know that we've diverted a lot from the main question, right? Going back to the question, so all the things I've said is just saying that you need to understand yourself so that you know that people's validation is just a very minor thing. Of course, sometimes it's always nice to hear, Abisola, you're doing good, it's great, and it just makes you feel good, and all like the effort is feeling like it's worth it. But you need to understand that that's like a very tiny thing. Recently, I'm writing an article that says that things that made me smile. And one reason why I'm writing that article is that I understood that for the first half a lot, I've achieved a lot, but to me, it's nothing. It just feels like ticking a box and just moving on with life. But I want to be able to go back and remember those things and actually smile and say that actually, Bisola, you've achieved a lot and God has been faithful. To be able to be thankful. Do you understand? So you need to understand, is it writing for you? Is it just going out? Is it, and even after I write the article, I go out and enjoy myself. I don't go out a lot, honestly, which is why I always take this personal hangouts a lot, very, very personal. I don't go out a lot. I don't know how to go out. But when I go out, I'm a totally different person. You will not even recognize that this is the person that loves to stay indoor. Do you get? So you need to be able to know that people's validation is very minor to your own happiness. You need to be happy with yourself. You need to be happy with God. You need to be happy with the people around you. Do you understand? So those are the happiness. People that mean a lot to you, happy with them. After that, every other thing is minor. So moving forward to that question, that main question that for people that 95 people that are doing things that they are not meant to be, that they don't want to do. As I was saying, I'm part of those people. And what I've done so far is that I also did an interview with someone working with Microsoft recently. And he also reiterated this thing I'm about to say. When you are doing your 9 to 5, you can't live, right? But that does not mean that your 9 to 5 is your whole life. So you still have time. You can create that time. So start taking easy courses, trainings, trainings. What else? Taking volunteering experience in those fields. Because you can't live immediately, you need to build experience in those. Because if it's a new job, you want to say something, Ruth?
No, like what you just said was what I just read about last week, that you just have to start somewhere. You might not just go full blown, but you have to start. Let people see that you can do this thing. Let people start. Yes. So from there, the big opportunity comes, and you can now say, oh yes, I have something.
True to that word. So while I was, I mentioned it that I'm trying to switch into a particular space. And I did some minor things, just tweaked my CV a bit and all. And I sent my CV to someone and she said that your CV does not read this thing that you're interested in at all. And I'm like, okay, meaning there is a gap, right? So I went back, took a course, took did different experience, different things. I tweaked my CV again to suit it again. And right now, it's seeming like at least I'm getting feedbacks from those things that I want. So I'm not there yet, but I can see that there is small. You are getting there. Do you understand? So you need to be able to start something. Take courses, training, go for experience, volunteering experience in those fields. Don't wait till you're being paid for those things before you say that, oh, finally, I want to. If you can gain valuable volunteering experience in those fields, like go for it, as far as you know that this is something that you're passionate about. Now, moving forward, let's say now merging those things with your passion rather. At that moment, you might want to take a leeway, right? I told you that I did this ALX training. There was a reason why I stepped back, because I'm like, as much as I also want to know what I'm doing in this field, I know that my focus right now, actually, so you need to be able to prioritize. That's what I'm getting to. I took a step back. I'm like, I'll still do it, it's fine. I'll do it maybe most likely by this time when I'm done with this. But for now, I'm focusing on this. Do you get? And every other thing that can flow with it. I've restructured my thinking. Do you understand? And if you can shed off some responsibilities through paying people, that's the word, delegate. Some responsibilities that don't really, which is one thing I love about TOC, because there are people involved. It's not just me. I'm not just the person. There are people in TOC that are doing this, that. For example, something was meant to go out this particular time. I'm not the one worrying that, has it not gone out? But I was the one delaying. But someone else was worrying about, it has not gone out. It has not gone out. It has not gone. Do you get my point? So it shedded off a lot of from my head. But it's still a lot when you need to pay people for their jobs. I can't wait to get to the stage in my life whereby I start. I really am a rewarder of labor. Let me put it that way. I know that you put your mind, your heart into something. So I love when I'm able to reward people for what they do. Which is why I can say thank you 20 times in a day. As far as I'm not able to pay you now, but don't worry, right? That at least intangible stuff that I can give to you. Is it my time? Sorry, I need to plug my phone, but that's fine. Is it my time? So that's why sometimes, in fact, in as much as my WhatsApp, I respond to people. There are some people that I prioritize over other people because I feel like you've given me your time, your energy, your this. I need to give it to you back, right? Sometimes not even my friend, of course, some people, but some people that actually go the extra mile for me, like for things, I give them to them. Like I prioritize and give it to them. So back to what I'm saying, ensure that you start doing that thing that you want to do. You want to be a content creator, To me, it's not a calling. It's not like I love to be a content creator, but I found myself, it's something that is easy to do for me. Like I can sit down, make videos, and just smile to the camera and all. You can start right now. I love writing. I started writing. I know that I cannot keep up with weekly writing or daily writing. My Medium pages once a month. I've told and they know once a month. I deliver once a month and stick to your timeline. Do you get? I love making videos, but for now, I know that it's not a priority. There are things that are quite priority to me. So I just any day it comes, right? But other things that I feel like they are priority because I'm building a brand and there, I give it to it and I put a structure in my head. You outside, you don't even need to know the structure, but you just see them showing up once in a while there. Because it's something that works for me and it's working for me. Do you get? So that's it for those people. Then for this category of people of fear, you know what? I'm just going to say this, that as you grow in life, right, that fear will reduce. You don't need to be afraid that if it stay there forever, it will reduce a bit. But I don't think it ever goes away. There's just this. I don't know people that it has gone away from. But at this stage of my life, I can tell you that it's still there. But there are two things. You can do it afraid and do it with the Holy Spirit. There are two things, two different things. Do it afraid, do it with the Holy Spirit. Because I always make strategic moves, especially for TOC. Sometimes I'm like, who sent me a message? You know how many times I've said, who sent me a message? I always think that who sent me a message until one day and I'm like, God sent you a message.
That's it.
God sent you a message. So I feel like you need to understand that God that told you to do this, especially if you are being led by God, right? He will give you the power to be able to execute. So you don't need to be afraid. That thing is just glitches. It's just glitch. I don't even know the grammar to put, but It's just things that would make you, it's just very minute. But as I said, it's not as if you will not still be anxious or nervous about it. Sometimes I want to make a move and I'm like very scared. I don't know how it works. And I'm like, for example, let me give you an example. I wanted to start TOC. TOC started as an email community. It was just me writing because I said I love writing. So I wanted to just create a newsletter where I send people what I've learned in life, and till I realized that till I never knew that God was going to make it something bigger than that. So, and when I wanted to move to the next page, I really wanted my friends to be those people that I would count on. But God said, "ABISOLA, no, I'm going to bring people in different strange places that you never, in fact, people that you don't even talk to. I'm going to bring them." Like, I remember when before TOC, I did an event, and maybe God just wanted me to see how it was, because every experience of mine led to something. They are leading to something. I've understood it now. Like, you don't need to convince me again that your experience in life, which is what I was saying about that I can story, is leading somewhere. It's in places. They are leading. It's more or less like God is ordering your steps. It doesn't make sense to people, but it's fine. You need to understand that it's fine if it doesn't make sense to you. It's you God gave the vision. Of course, did not reveal it to them. So how will they understand? How can they understand? They cannot understand now. So you need to own it and say that it is me. So even when you give it, that's why sometimes your close friends don't even understand what is being given to you. That's why they don't understand, because God gave you the vision. And if it is your close friend to be used to support you, okay, that's noted. But if it is not your close friends, so I feel like in my own situation, God just wanted to show me that, see, I'm not going to use people that you know. I'm going to use people that you don't know to show you that I'm actually God. Do you understand? And it brought people from LinkedIn, people from people's status, people from, different people that, oh, ABISOLA, I know somebody that wants to volunteer for this. Is there like a role the person can volunteer from? Oh, okay, yes, bring the person in. And it just brought people from different spheres and areas of life, and it brought them together for TOC. And even till now, my friend always asks me that when I'm choosing people for my interview, I just see you once on LinkedIn, because I use LinkedIn as my searching tool, right? And when I see you once, I know that this is it. This is the person that God wants to use. And this is the person. Fine. And I send you a message, right? It doesn't even look like the person will respond to me, because when you first see where the person is working, you'll be like, operation. But the faith, I feel like I've gotten to that. There are some actions that I just make, and I make it. And I'm like, I don't know how this person is going to answer, but I just believe in God. God will do the rest. And apologies, the call is coming, but I guess we're almost done. Time is, so I'm looking at time. So I'll wrap up soon. So I'm like, you need to going back to what I'm saying, fear comes as a result of you thinking too much about what other people think, and being ability to deliver on it. You're just scared about the loss. See, it comes from a lot of things, like so many things that are just going through your head. But if you get to the understanding that God is doing this with you, you just do it. At first, you will be doing it afraid, but you get to a stage in your life, you start doing it with the Holy Spirit. Do you get? And so you just have to come to that understanding and try not to focus so much on people. There will still be people. See, when you start that thing that you want to do, somebody will start something that you still want to do. Do you get my point? But it's God that gave you the vision, right? Don't worry, it's going to lead you and do it with you. So you need to stop worrying so much about people. I remember that at some points in my career, things were not really going so well. And I was really, really tired and worried. And I was just seeing so many people's wins and all. And I'm that person that loves celebrating people. So when I'm now moving from celebrating people to start feeling somehow about people, so I hate it. So what I just did was I just muted everybody that felt that way. Or
like I think we have so many things in common.
like I just muted them. And even normally, if you are somebody that I respect and I don't like what you're, it's not flowing in my spirit, I just mute you. I don't really like too much talk. Or at that moment it was extreme, so I just deleted my WhatsApp for a while. I went to refocus. So I love focusing. I love how do I explain my brain? Redefining my purpose. So sometimes I can go offline. Sometimes I'm online. Sometimes I'm online, I'm offline. Do you understand? Like this holiday is more or less like a redefinition time for me, right? So I will just go offline, go and focus. Meaning for me to be that scared, I feel like then there's something in my secret thought that is wrong, right? I'm doing like, there's already lag there. That's for me, right? The fear was too much and too overwhelming. So I'm meaning that I'm already focusing too much on the outside and not on the inside. So my inside is not feeling well. That's why my outside is feeling like that. So I just took that break. And by the time I came back, I was totally a new human being, celebrating with people, just happy. Do you understand? And which is saying that sometimes when the fear is too much, just go back to God, JJ. Because honestly, the Bible says that he has not given us the spirit of fear. So God has not given you the spirit of fear. So you mean that it's just telling that for you not to have that spirit of fear, for you to have that spirit of it, that means you are not in tune with God. Do you get? So you need to go back to him and go and reconnect, then come back and not show up for the people outside. Because so much of like, so many times people show up outside, but they don't show up inside. Do you get? So even me, I'm talking to myself, like it happens. Like you get, sometimes you are walking, you are too focused on that journey that you forget of the things of the inside. Do you get? So by that time, anytime I just get to that leeway, I always try to, anytime I break it and just not show up for the outside and show up so much on the inside. Then when I'm able to find that balance, I come out again. Do you get? So basically, there's nothing I can say about fear. There is no timetable or anything. Honestly, just go back to God. Create anything that is giving you that fear, that is making you afraid. Mute it, go away from it. And you can start by doing it afraid. Then as time goes on, as you build your relationship with God, you do it with the Holy Spirit. So basically, that's Montessori. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bisola. This was really, 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 really educative. And you see that doing it afraid, it's a principle that everybody just has to, you just have to do it that way, because you can't sit and wait for the day that fear will disappear. Just Toyin Pojo Emade, she came to my office one time. We had this session in the office and they're talking about this fear. And she said many times she just told herself like, Toyin, you're going to do this thing afraid. Like just start. When you start, before you know, the whole fear, just goes away. And then practice too. Maybe when you're scared, you can also train that with trainings and all, because sometimes it might just be that you are not skilled enough for that thing. So that fear is natural. So you just have to practice and live above your fears. Thank you so much. So I don't know if is TOC open to everyone to join. I don't know if
it is open to anyone to join, and all you just need to join us is, okay, we are on Telegram. We're now on Telegram, so it's easy. So you just need to go to t.me/thehour community, or you can join our email community, and we dish out weekly content. We have interviews. We interview people. That section is called TOC Stories. We come to tell you people's stories. They just share their journey so far. And of course, there's always, I'm a person of value. I love value. I love giving. I love when I see, like, let's just say, right?
Yeah.
So they'll come to tell you your stories. And I think now we've moved to a video interview. So it's no more like a written interview that you have. So we dish it out on our YouTube channel. But all you need to do actually is just join us. bit.ly bit.ly/join our community. Or you can start by joining our Telegram channel t.me/our community. So basically that's all you know. Or just search for our community online.
I'll get the details from you. So I'll put it on the description box so that anyone who wants to join can just click the link and just join from there.
Thank you so much. I actually enjoyed this session also.
I enjoyed myself too. You know, when you are interviewing the interviewer, I don't know. Yeah, you interview people, right? So now we are interviewing Bisola of TOC. Wow,
don't mind me, Gary. Yeah, okay, take care of yourself. Have a great
day. Enjoy the rest of the holiday. Yeah, bye. Bye.